Hey there, Simon here from AQ Outdoors, just checking in with a quick review / comparison on two of our best-selling recreational kayak paddles from the past 15 years, the Aquabound Stingray Fiberglass and the Aquabound Stingray Hybrid paddles. So these are made in the US by Aquabound in Wisconsin, and they sort of have a small to medium sized low angle paddle blade. If you don't know the difference between low angle and high angle paddle blades, just click the link above for a little bit of a tutorial on it, and it'll point you in the right direction, hopefully, for what style of paddle is right for you. So we're going to start with the fiberglass version of the Stingray paddle, which is the less expensive of the two. It has a wrapped fiberglass shaft. It has a push button ferrule, which is a very simple ferrule system, which does allow for angle change, right hand, left hand, and zero. It also allows the paddle to be split in two for transportation. It does, however, these more simple versions of the ferrules, there is a little bit of play in them, okay? So that's something to be aware of. The blade is a fiberglass reinforced nylon. It's injection molded. It has this spline down the middle here, which creates quite a lot of stiffness and rigidity. And so stiffness and rigidity in a paddle basically equal power. The more flex there is, the more power you lose in each stroke. The upside of that, however, is a little bit of flex is easier on your joints. This paddle comes in at about 960 grams, give or take. So it's relatively lightweight, but not as light as the hybrid, which we'll talk about shortly. Comes with drip rings as well, so this stops getting as much water on your lap when you're paddling. Like we mentioned, it's designed for low angle paddling, so it's ideal for wider recreational boats, or just those looking for more of a leisurely sort of a stroke style and stroke rate, someone who's not looking to cover lots of ground really quickly necessarily. When we're talking to people in the shop about the fiberglass paddle, we talk about it as being a really good value option for people who want to get on the water for, let's say, like 1 to 3 hours. Once you get on the water longer than that, it's kind of nice to have a lighter, slightly stiffer paddle. It's a little bit more effective, a little bit more efficient, and it'll just mean a little bit less fatigue for the paddler over a longer day on the water. So second up, we have the hybrid version of the Stingray paddle. It's largely the same as the fiberglass with a few very obvious differences. So this is Aquabound's proprietary ferrule system, the Posi Lock. So it allows for really accurate angle adjustments. It also has no play in it. It's super solid together, whereas with the fiberglass version, you have the push button ferrule, has a little bit of wiggle in it, which tends to get worse over time as the fiberglass wears away. Easy to pull apart, easy to put back together, and with lots of adjustments and no play. So that's a big benefit of the Posi Lock ferrule here. The hybrid gets its name because it has fiberglass reinforced blades, just like the fiberglass paddle, but it has a carbon wrapped shaft, which saves about 100 grams in weight. So I think this is about 865 grams or something like that. So basically over the course of a day of paddling, you're just gonna see less fatigue and you'll just be more effective in your paddling. Everything else is pretty much identical to the fiberglass version, but the main benefits is it's lighter weight and it's much stiffer with the carbon shaft versus the fiberglass shaft. Both models of paddle, the fiberglass and the hybrid, come in lengths from 210 centimeters to 250 centimeters in 10 centimeter increments. The length that's correct for you will depend on the width of your boat and how tall you are, how long your arms are, etc. If you check the link above, there's a link to a video on how to size a paddle correctly. That might be of use as well. So both models come in 2-piece or 4-piece versions. The 2-piece are the most popular. There's less parts to lose and most people don't need the compact nature of the 4-piece paddles. The 4-piece versions are really popular with pack rafters and those who are traveling on planes and such with them because they're much easier to store and travel with. If you do get a 4-piece version, it does create a couple of extra joins, so it does compromise the strength and rigidity and stiffness of the paddle to some degree, but not in a noticeable fashion for recreational paddling purposes. One really important thing to consider if you are looking at a recreational kayak paddle is the weight of your boat. So if you're paddling a lightweight Delta or an Old Town or a Wilderness Systems boat, a paddle like these Stingrays either will work fantastically. If you have a heavier boat, like some of the large sit-on tops or the large fishing kayaks, you probably want to consider spending a little bit of extra money and getting something that's like a full carbon layup or a laminate fiberglass paddle, because that additional stiffness really affects the performance of those larger, heavier boats. In summary, Both the fiberglass and the hybrid version are fantastic options for recreational paddlers with relatively lightweight recreational kayaks. The fiberglass version is $160 plus GST for the 2-piece, $170 plus GST for the 4-piece. It has the basic push-button ferrule, which does have a little bit of wiggle and play to it. It has a fiberglass shaft, which has a little bit of flex. It's relatively lightweight, but you will lose a little bit of power, but on the flip side, it's pretty good for your joints having that additional flex. The hybrid version is $210 plus GST for the 2-piece and $220 plus GST for the 4-piece. It has the proprietary Posi-Lock ferrule system, which is one of the best in the business. Easily adjustable, no play in it at all, super lightweight, easy to use, no maintenance basically. It also has the carbon shaft, which saves you about 100 grams in weight, increases the stiffness a little bit, which transfers to more power. Thanks so much for checking out this review on the Aquabound Stingray hybrid and fiberglass recreational kayak paddles. We hope this helps you in your recreational kayak purchasing journey. If you have any questions, comments or concerns, we'd love to see them in the comments below. For more great paddling education content and reviews, please subscribe below or check us out at aqoutdoors.com for more information.